Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, hello. My name is Lern the Conjurer and I am your host of all things spooky, creepy, weird, and fun. And today we are definitely going to have fun because this is a video collaboration. Woohoo! I'm popular enough for people to want to work with. Also, you have someone peeking into the frame. Everybody say hello. Oh my gosh, you're too much, you're too much. Okay, excuse me, I have to distract somebody. Anyway, you might hear some familiar chewing in the background now that I've done that. Yes, today's video is a video collaboration with the channel MYR Mediums and my friend Lakota. I first learned about Lakota's channel in December of 2020, and I have to say I've been hooked ever since. So not only have I been a loyal viewer and subscriber, but we're actually friends. I can have friends, guys. I can have friends. So anyway, Lakota was the one who actually approached me about doing this collaboration where the idea is to start a canvas about anything that we wanted, i.e. something spooky. Then we'd send the canvas to one another and finish it in our own style. So I made a canvas and I shipped it 1,200 miles away. I've never done this before. Like, this is so brilliant. So with his style for MYR Mediums, I'm very excited to be coming together with him. He's a phenomenal artist, and this is just such a great opportunity. Now, before I reveal what I am actually painting, I will tell you that whatever I choose to paint, Lakota has to finish the canvas. And of course, once I get his canvas, I'm going to be painting on it as well. So it's just going to be a hoot and a nanny and a spooky time, and I am really excited! So now I'll reveal exactly what I decided to paint. I've been feeling like summer spooky when I think of the summertime, and I think of what is scary during the summertime. I think aliens. There's a lot of alien lore out there, and I'm no stranger to talking about it. So I thought, let me go ahead and give a shot and paint us an alien and see what Lakota does with it. All right, let's take it away.
And here we go, everyone. We are starting with our painting. And as you can tell, I know I'm covering an already drawn on canvas. How could you? So tragic. Listen, there's a method to my madness, and don't be sad because in the end, I actually wanted to take that same drawing and put it on a bigger canvas. So it's okay. She lives on another surface. So as you can see, I'm just covering it here and I'm getting ready to do a background. And I really wanted it to be like Aurora Borealis style sky. And I think I did a pretty decent job, but I will tell you that one of my favorite things that Lakota does on his channel is whenever he does a background in a painting in acrylic, he's really great at getting the textural elements involved. And I mean, the wash technique that he does in general is really, really smart. I really enjoy that. Anyway, are you a believer? Well, I can definitely tell you that I am. However, I've never actually had a alien experience or a UFO encounter, but I definitely feel like there's gotta be something out there. If you've watched my previous video, Bedtime Haunts, where I covered Area 51, I do state my full opinion if you actually care. But if you are a believer, you might be wondering exactly how many types of aliens exist out there. Well, apparently 36, according to livescience.com. So apparently there are 36 alien civilizations that share the Milky Way galaxy alone. So what's outside of that, we have no idea. But if you are a believer, that is how many you can look forward to. In my painting, though, I decided to highlight whom I would consider is the scariest of them all, and perhaps the most common when we think about aliens, and that is the Greys. The Greys are often described as human-like, but with small bodies and smooth gray colored skin. They usually have enlarged hairless heads and large black eyes. So I guess they get another common name, and they're also called Roswell Greys. And that's another case that I was thinking about covering too. Let me know if you want to hear more about that. Speaking of, the fascination of UFOs and aliens goes pretty far out there, no pun intended. Literally, Roswell has a Roswell UFO festival, which I am quite tempted to go to. It is in the middle of July though, so that's kind of hot. But there's also an alien con, and there's a bunch of other alien conventions that are around the US alone. So I imagine what it is outside of that. I also wonder what aliens think of us having conventions about them. And I kind of wonder if maybe they have conventions about us. So, like, we dress up as cosplay aliens and they dress up as cosplay humans. Man, I should think about painting that. Speaking of painting, if you haven't checked out Lakota's channel, MYR Mediums, yet, please do yourself a favor and look at all of his amazing stuff. This guy is not only an amazing artist and very creative in his vision and just so different from other artists that I've found on YouTube, but he's hysterical. He is such a funny guy, and he's wholesome, and he also gives a lot of what I would consider super down-to-earth, chill energy. So if you're somebody who really enjoys the content that someone makes that's kind of like talking to a friend, but also it's content that is either relaxing and or you learn something in the process, I would highly recommend checking him out. And he's a little bit of everything. He's got all sorts of stuff going on his channel, so most likely, no matter what you're looking for, there's something on there that you're gonna like. My favorite recent videos of his have been these series videos that he's been making where he found an old story that he wrote when he was in his teenage years, and he's basically been reading it to us. And listen, that kind of content speaks to my soul, because I, for sure, was someone who used to write stories when I was in middle school and in high school, and I would pass them around to my friends, and I would hope that they would read them and leave me a review, and oh God, so embarrassing. So in him recreating this time with us, it's kind of been a nostalgic feel for me, and it's also just hysterical to listen to a 14-year-old and what they think is cool, right? Now, I already was pretty sunken into Lakota's channel when I found him in December of last year, but I think what really made me feel like this guy is sincerely believable was his video that he did about living in a haunted house. Guys, if you are someone who is struggling with your belief in the supernatural, you should probably check out this video, because these stories that he talks about, I have no reason to not believe him, but also they gave me the genuine chills. I mean, if you're here on my channel to listen to a bunch of creepy stuff and you want more of that, head over to that video. Speaking of creepy tales, Lakota actually shared with me a really jarring story. A story that I could so vividly see in my mind when he was speaking it to me. And I gotta tell you, I cannot wait to share it with all of you. He gave me special permission. So stay tuned to my channel, and I am going to share with you this absolutely wild story about a kid in the woods. What more could you ask for, right? All right, so as you can see towards the end of my painting here, I am getting into that real silver, almost metallic type of view that you're seeing here. And I was thinking about not going with the metallic paint, but I'm very happy that I chose this one in the end, because when I imagine a gray alien, I imagine ones that are sort of like slimy almost, weird ectoplasm, science stuff, I don't know. And of course, the giant eyes. I even thought about maybe putting a reflection almost of a galaxy in his eyes, but I guess I just didn't want to muddy up the painting, especially because I want to see what Lakota does with this. It is such a cool idea and a great collaboration that he thought of, and I'm just so happy to be along for this ride, and I cannot wait for this painting to get into his hands so he could do something wild with it. I'm so excited.
And that's it. Now it's complete, and it is on its way to Lakota for his amazing imagination to take a hold of. I kind of wonder what he's doing.
Lern, Lakota is summoning you on Seance Line 3.
Well, go on ahead, send him through. Take it away, Lakota!
What's going on, guys? I'm Lakota from MYR Mediums, and this It's my first time being featured on anybody else's channel, so thank you, Lern, for the opportunity. I greatly appreciate it. Now, although I am a lover of aliens like Alf, E.T., the Xenomorphs, the Doctor, I'm a David Tennant man. Diva Plava Laguna and the Predator, in real life, I am actually an extraterrestrial skeptic. I don't believe in space aliens. Well, that does it for my segment of the video, everybody. I hope that you enjoyed it and found it informative. Back to you, Lern. I'm kidding. I do actually believe in alien life forms, just not in the conventional sense. Before we go on, let me stress to you that I am not a professional. Anything that I say is purely speculation, and I hope I'm wrong about my beliefs and that one day I am pleasantly surprised by a visit from peaceful aliens that hail from outside of our solar system. I hope that they're sexy and expose us to new forms of progressive rock and roll. But until then, let me entertain you with my crackpot theories while I work on my half of this canvas collaboration. Let's begin. So I've established that I don't believe aliens come from outer space, but that I do believe in them, kinda. So what am I talking about? Where do I think aliens come from? I believe that there is a dimension that exists side by side with us right now, and like we are technically in the same space as this other dimension. We just can't see it. The Bible talks about spiritual warfare going on all around us at all times, and I believe that these beings come from out of that dimension. In short, I believe that aliens, if they exist, are actually fallen angels, and they do not have good intentions for mankind. Wait! Don't click away from this video yet. I want to clear some things up. Yes, I am a Christian. No, I'm not the kind that voted the way that you think I voted. I don't wear a MAGA hat, and I don't like Alex Jones. I think the man's a nutcase. I'm really not into conspiracy theories at all. This is one of the only ones that I think actually holds some water if you believe the way that I do. So if you don't believe the way that I do, I'm asking you just suspend your disbelief for a moment and ride this wave with me, because I think it's pretty interesting. And I hope that you do too. Let's dig into this. So reason number one, this is where my skepticism really started. And that is that space is huge. And we've seen a very small chunk of it. But that small chunk that we've seen is a lot. We have seen so many galaxies, all billions and millions of light years away from each other. We have seen so much with our satellites, with our telescopes. We have not found life yet. And I know some of you will say, yeah, well, they found some frozen germs under a rock on Mars. That's not enough to convince me that one of its cousins flew down here and probed your Aunt Alice. And somebody should probably bring it up to Aunt Alice's husband that all this probing is going on usually whenever he's not at home. Just saying. Get some nanny cams, brother. I also believe that if aliens were to come from another planet, that means that they would have way superior technology than we do. They would have got here, and I don't think that our world leaders would, if the aliens wanted to come here and make themselves known, I don't think that we would have the capacity to suppress them. I don't think if they had the technology to get here from a distant planet, I don't think that government officials would be able to keep it hush hush. I feel like the aliens would be like, nah, we're here, home dog. We want to talk to the people. Either that or they would avoid us like the plague. They've seen what we can do to our own species, and they're probably like, these people are a threat. We're either going to leave them alone or destroy them. Now the technology brings me to my next point. I think that most people, whenever they think of angels and demons, they get this really archaic picture in their head. Like angels with bronze chest plates and spears, fallen angels being little red guys with pitchforks, and I don't think that would be the case. If God exists and he created everything that we see, stars, planets, earth, whether that be through just speaking it into existence or crafting it to evolve into what we have become now, that's something that is way smarter than we ever could hope to be. And if the tier list is, the Godhead 3 in 1, and then angels, and then man, then I would probably go ahead and assume that angels have better technology than we do. That includes the fallen ones. It's my belief, and this is nowhere in the Bible, this is strictly my belief. I think that the God of the Bible is not a God of chaos. I think there is method to absolutely everything. And I don't think of miracles and things that happen supernaturally. I don't think of those things as being like magic. I honestly think that it's science that we just aren't capable of understanding yet. Most of it anyway. I do believe that we have learned some, and that it was taught to us by none other than aliens. And here is why. If you go back as far as you can in history, almost every single civilization has stories of beings that came from the sky, and essentially wherever they visited, it seemed like all of a sudden technology blossomed. So you got stories of like ancient Egypt, and these beings came out of the sky and was like teaching them ways to cut stone using like a flute. Been a long time since I've read that one, but that is a story out there. Even in Ezekiel in the Bible, there is talks about a vision of this wheel in the sky that comes down, and it's like a gleaming metal. I mean, that's like essentially a UFO, and these wild looking beings came down out of it. And I mean, have you ever read the biblical description of an angel? They're not these cutesy little things that just sit on clouds and play harps. They're terrifying. Wheels within a wheel, all covered in eyes. Anytime an angel appeared to somebody, they would fall down on their face and couldn't move until the angel was like, "Be not afraid," which is essentially basically the first version of "We come in peace." So going back to the technology part of it. So you have ancient civilization, kind of a spike in technology, and a legend that it came from people from space or people from another dimension, people that just came out of nowhere. Now, one of the more recent and more famous legends is, of course, Nazi Germany under Hitler. There's all kinds of conspiracies that Hitler was using, like having meetings with aliens, and they were supplying them with all of this new technology. Well, I kind of buy it. They developed a bunch of crazy stuff, and they were wicked. I mean, the Nazi Party was just absolutely insanely wicked, and I think that I totally find it believable that they got a lot of their like resources from fallen angels. I am not saying that technology is bad. I don't believe that at all. And I'm sure some of you are thinking, yeah, well, aliens could come down and show us the technology, and then we turn out to be the evil ones, and we turn it on each other. Okay, well, let's back that up for a second. If I know somebody who is a homicidal maniac, and I give them a hatchet, I know that the hatchet is used to cut down trees in the woods. Is that what the homicidal maniac is going to use the hatchet for? He might, but he also might go after your Aunt Alice. Who knows? The point of that being, I know fully well that guy should not have a hatchet. And if the aliens have been coming around for all these thousands of years, and they've seen that every time we get technology, we turn around and use it for evil, maybe they're evil. Think about it, really. What do we do with technology? We get it, we get new tech, and then we get these cool gadgets, and we love them so much, but then we just end up using them for war. Drones, computer-guided missiles, tanks, submarines, you name it. If there's technology, we have somehow figured out to use that to kill other humans. I do believe that it is the devil's agenda to mislead us, take our eyes off of God, and give us the tools that we need to destroy ourselves. And what better way to do that than to send his helpers under the guise that they are hyper-developed, highly intelligent life forms from outside of our solar system that are here to educate us and then give us the technology that we need to kill our fellow man. So to end my discombobulated conspiracy rant, yeah, I do believe that it is possible that God created life outside of planet Earth. I just don't think it's on another planet. I think that we exist in a pocket universe that is ever expanding, but smaller than we think it is. I believe that there is a world right next to us, and that God has created all kinds of crazy, beautiful creatures that we just aren't allowed to see yet. We're not there. We're not on that plane. And I believe that any sort of creature that were to pop up and tell us that they're an alien from outer space is nothing more than a lie, trying to get us to look for things that just don't exist. I do believe that people have had experiences just like people have experiences with ghosts. I believe in the supernatural. I'd even venture to say that I believe that people have been abducted. I just don't believe that they get sucked up into spaceships. I think possibly they could get phased over into some sort of other dimension, or that they can just get in your head and make you think that you have been somewhere else and make it very real. But no, I don't believe in outer space aliens. I'm sure you all believe that this is just the ramblings of a crazy person, and I'm okay with that. You can believe that. I'll believe the thing that I believe. I don't think it's any more far-fetched than believing that there are creatures that can come to us from other planets. So, I don't know. Your theory sounds just as crazy as my theory. I just hope that you had fun listening to me and watching me paint this painting. And it looks like it's finishing up here, so I'm gonna go ahead and kick this back over to Lern to close the video. Lern, thank you again for letting me talk about this crazy subject on your video. And to all of you who actually stuck around and watched it, I appreciate you. You all have a wonderful week. Take care of yourselves. Be kind and love one another.
I am so excited that you all joined us for this collaboration. A special thank you to Lakota from MYR Mediums for joining me on this collaboration, for thinking such a cool idea up in the first place. Please consider liking and subscribing to his channel for more of his really interesting, funny, and just awesome all-around content. After all, his channel is a little bit of art, a little bit of vlogging, a little bit of weird ASMR, but he's also a friend, so please consider helping out a buddy. And as for me, please consider liking this video, and please consider subscribing to my channel if you enjoy spooky, fun content. And finally, remember the rules of conjuring. Never play alone, never play in a graveyard, and always say goodbye. Goodbye, ghosties and ghoulies.